Hi, my name is Amanda Schneider. I just wanted to take a couple minutes and share my experience with Graves' disease. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's an autoimmune condition. It's hyperthyroidism and can be pretty dangerous if you don't have it treated. I was diagnosed in 2006, and at the time, my husband and I had been trying to conceive for about 2 years. Unsuccessfully, and I suddenly had a doctor telling me that I could not get pregnant until I got this condition under control. So obviously it was a pretty low point in my life. Through the use of medication, beta blockers for my heart and medication that brought my T3 and T4 levels down within range, I was able to get it under control, and we were able to conceive after making some dietary changes and doing some supplements with a really great chiropractor that we were seeing. But I never, it never went into remission for very long. During the next 3 or 4 years during my pregnancies, the Graves does go into remission, luckily, and I was able to get off of the medication while I was pregnant, but it would always kick back up again within a couple months after having my boys. At one point, I did try some herbs and did an herbal tincture 3 times a day, which was disgusting, and I was able to get my levels within range, my T3 and T4. But it wasn't a long-term fix. It was just kind of a Band-Aid, I guess. So when I was pregnant with my youngest, this was about 6 years ago, I went to a chiropractor, and he told me about a way that I could just flood my body with fruits and vegetables every day on a daily basis. It sounded fantastic. I knew we weren't getting enough fruits and vegetables, and I wanted my whole family on it. So we started it about 5.5 years ago. I had no expectations at the time. I didn't know the really strong link between food, nutrition, and being medicine. I just took it because I didn't want the stress. And for the next 3 years, I was on medication. My Graves had come back. But when I started flooding my body with more plants, it was like this catalyst, and I started making healthier changes in my life. I learned a lot about the research behind it, how important it was, how much it supported a healthy immune system and reduced systemic inflammation. And about 2 years ago, I made the conscious decision to actually double up and take a double amount consistently every day. And I also added in a plant-based shake mix, so I've been getting over 40 different plants in my body every day. And before, my life consisted of going to this endocrinologist, and I would wait an hour to see him. I would see him for 2 minutes. He would look at my TSH, my T3 and T4, and say, okay, you're within range, here's your prescription, go on your way. And that was it. And so I stopped seeing an endocrinologist and was kind of monitoring, which was not responsible. I will put that way. And that being said, I weaned myself off of all of my medication about 6 months ago. I was feeling fine. I did it slowly. I was very conscious and was just asymptomatic. And I finally saw a naturopath last month and got my blood levels checked. And again, I don't recommend doing this without the guidance of a doctor. This was just me, and I do know it was very irresponsible. But so I did get my blood levels checked, and last month, for the first time since I've been diagnosed with this, my T3 and T4 levels were within range, which I had seen when I was on medication. However, my TSH was always less than 0.1. It was always negligible, never showed up, even when I was regulated on medication, and that was just kind of like, well, that's just not going to come up. There you go. And here I am. I've been off of medication for 6 months, and I'm looking at my TSH number smack in the middle of the range. Very healthy range. All of my hormones were balanced. I'm over 40 now. I was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, am I going into perimenopause? Nope, everything was balanced. It was really phenomenal looking at that number, and kind of surreal. Definitely very empowering. So I just wanted to share that there's so much hope if you have an autoimmune condition, that flooding your body with fruits and vegetables every day, making some healthy lifestyle changes, you have so many things that you can do to affect the outcome. You are not destined to a life of medication to control this thing that has happened to you. So I just wanted to get across that message of hope. I apologize for the screaming lively boys in the background. That's just kind of my life. And if I waited till they were quiet, I wouldn't be doing this. So thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, you can comment below. I'd love to connect and share more about my story. Thanks.